So what happened in China was basically it all changed the last 25 years, to be honest. So in the late 1990s, the Chinese government basically said, we need to invest massively in the higher education system, right? So the number of, the cohorts that were graduating, it used to be like 1 million Chinese a year. It went to 9 million in a few years. That's a massive growth. You've never seen anything like that in the history of the world, right? Like the kind of expansion that they did. And they pumped in a lot of money. They attracted Chinese researchers in the US at top universities to come back to China, saying that here we'll throw money at you to come, so it's essentially what Nehru had thought he was doing in the 60s, the Chinese government did in the early 2000s, right? And that is now paying off, right? And it paid off with kind of also with the EV boom, with the solar panel boom, now with the AI boom, right? Or China kind of has been on the forefront on all of this kind of technology, right? The green technology, but now with the AI stuff as well, right? And they just massively invest in that higher education system, right? So, and India has not seen anything like that, right? I mean, part of it is we don't have that kind of money, like you said. Like China is a lot richer. People keep putting India and China on the same page, but just look at the GDP per capita, guys. It's like it is a lot richer, So yeah. But part of the reason is, I think this is a very interesting history, right? So Raghuram Rajan, our former
Ex-RBI governor.
right? He talks a lot about how India doesn't need a manufacturing boom. India got this service sector led boom, right? And he was like, it's fine. We missed the manufacturing. He's written a new book, which is a great book. Everyone should take a look at it. It's fine that we skip the manufacturing bus. Like it's because we'll get this IT services boom, right? The problem is that the IT services boom, we think it's great. A lot of people have benefited from it, but it is very like urban, English speaking, upper middle class. It's concentrated in a certain segment of Indian society. It's not a widespread boom, right? It doesn't, the Chinese manufacturing boom, what it did was it lifted the entire country out of poverty, right? And so it kind of lifted people across the entire distribution, right? Made them richer. And then those are the kids that are going to college. They are the ones getting new skills, right? They are the ones, so India's enrollment ratios are still like 30, 40%, only 30% of the youth are going to college, right? But in China, it's a lot higher because they're richer, right? And that because they had that manufacturing boom. And what's happening now is that with AI, we were all so happy that India had this IT service sector boom. With AI, that's under threat, right? Like we were talking about, the AI is cheaper, right? Can code, can handle all the language barrier stuff, right? And suddenly we don't have a manufacturing sector, and our service sector is under threat, right? So I do think history has played an important role here, and it's going to matter going forward. So I think India has to figure out how to innovate on the AI front, today, basically.
I think the total number of IT professionals cumulatively in India, I think it should be less than 10 million, if I'm not wrong. And I think I'm not.
Yeah,
It's a very low job creator,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah,
Services.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it is a concentrated boom. Now, it's true that if you look at national statistics, it was the fastest growing sector in the country. It drove the Indian export boom in the 2000s, right? Like Indian exports were going up. If you look into the data, why were they going up? It was IT services. So it was increasing national income, right? But the benefits were concentrated. It's not helping poor farmers and things like that, right? So it's like it is a concentrated boom in that way, and as a result, you don't have that same kind of the next generation all going to college and so on and so forth, right? So in some ways it matters, right, that we don't have that fully skilled workforce that's broad based in some ways.